Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of the Grid Slot Gaffer Racing podcast. You are joined once again by me, Tilson028, and my two trusted companions.
Me, Tiger Assassin.
And me, X90G.
And apparently, my two trusted companions can't be trusted to read simple cue cards from an
Wait,
introduction.
no, but you did your
But
intro
anyway,
differently.
I did the intro differently, yes, but you should still be able to pick up on that.
No, we haven't got.
Anyway,
the brains
moving
for
on
that.
to what happened in Gather Racing this week. Well, over the last couple of weeks, we couldn't get an episode out to you the last week or the week before. No, not well. Actually, it was partially my fault because I was sick the first week, and then the next week Tiger was asleep. We now call him Sleeping Beauty. Anyway, we're going to dive straight into iRacing and Project Cars then. So, in the iRacing GTE Championship Round 3 at the Charlotte Roval, which is actually quite an interesting racetrack there, I had Philip Muller taking the win, Fabrizio Rivera in second, and Ola Janssen, I think that is, in third. Daniel Stuyvesant was fourth, with Glenn Whistle in fifth. Jelt Heldorn in sixth. I'm sure we'll get on to me about the pronunciation there. And Dejan Popovic in seventh. That is my new favorite name. It was Fabrizio Rivera who actually started on pole then, so fell to second. I believe that is Sig, but in the championship, that means that Rivera still leads from Muller in second and Jelt Heldorn in third on 143, 93, and 82 points, respectively. Heading straight on to the Escort Cup then, which sounds like something else. The qualifying was the ESR Chef in first. I'll leave you to decide what that other thing is, with a 1 minute 30.9 at Long Beach in a Renault Escort, a Ford Escort. Gior 69 was in second on the 31.1, so less than 2/10 between the top two drivers there, showing how close but it actually is in that series. Besser then ran out at the top three in third. Actually, a Premier Series driver, Besser, for AlphaTauri. I think he's Pope's teammate and has a win this season, doesn't he? At Sandvort?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
And then in the race, it was actually quite a topsy-turvy race, sort of, with a Red 15 GRT in third and Jojo Power in second, but ESR Chef managing to convert the pole into the win there, meaning in the championship, it is ESR Chef who has taken every single win so far in the lead in this leg and last leg, actually. So on a total of 150 points, but in this leg on a total of 60 points. Jojo Power was in second with 48 points in this leg and 102 overall. And Allochamps sits in third with 28 points in this current leg and 84 points overall. And now we're going to head to the Master Series, which took place in Brands Hatch. So going across the pond, as it were, back to England.
Home Grand Prix.
Home Grand Prix, if there are many of our British brethren here at Gather Racing, but it's going to be Javier Ranz for 118.3 on pole for the World Master Series, with Faster _ A14 in second with a 19.3, and Aguileta in third on a 19.7. In the race, the lap time slowed down a bit, but it's Javier Ranz taking another commanding victory by 27 seconds. Sky just does not slow down from Faster in second, and GTS R12 rounded out the top three there. So that's going to be iRacing and Project Cars 2 even. Let's move straight on into F1. Now, because we have had 2 races in most of the leagues and 3 in the Super League, what we've decided to do is we're going to do the races that have happened most recently mainly, and that's where we're going to be revealing our new way of dissecting each driver's races, so everyone gets a little mention in the podcast, at least a little bit. And then but first of all, we're going to start with a quick run through of the race, what happened, then we'll dive into the specifics. But I'm going to take you away then to the lovely land of Austria, where we had all 4 of our races this week. I'm going to start with the academy then. The first of those 4 races, it was Rick Holt who took the pole in the top 4, within 2/10 of each other, which was obviously quite insane to see. But in the race, everyone had a clean start. But at turn 3, it was like, well, the Eiffel Grand Prix in real life, Tiger. I think you were in the commentary box with me, and it's like no one had any front grip.
No, it was. Yeah, everyone just decided to go really wide, actually, at turn 3. There was like. The front runners did, and then there was some mid-pack, and yeah, as you said, it was pretty much a replica of that. But those front 3, I know you'll probably get onto it into a second about those front 3 battling, but they never stop. They never stop battling, and especially in quali as well. Though times are always really close between each other.
Yeah, I think the top three, top four really in that race are all really close together for the entire races, which is a bit of a surprise. I think Natty, like we were both like surprised to see Geek Fusion up there, battling it out with the best from the Academy series. I think. Do you think we'll be able to carry that momentum forward from this point? Can this be like a springboard maybe for the rest of the season?
And that's going to definitely raise his confidence. And once he's got that confidence raised, he hopefully will be able to lead that good result into the next few races for him.
Yeah, but I think a big theme of the race was Geek Fusion being able to build the gap up in the lead, but then he dropped back due to mistakes. I think once he gets those out of the system, can really start to challenge those front three and challenge for the title. So we had Rick Holt and Mr. Schumacher then, when are they not having an epic battle on track? But Rick Holt getting around the outside at turn three, just getting the traction off the corner and up the mini hill, I'm going to call it. But on lap 9, Geek Fusion and Aston went wheel to wheel for the lead. Remember, only 18 laps in a 25% race around Austria. In fact, we have the next Academy series in about 2.5 hours.
Pretty much.
Yeah, to do in Silverstone, Tiger. At time of recording, anyway. Coming on to the last lap then, it was still the top four separated by less than 5 seconds. But Aston, who took the win after Geek Fusion's penalties, I was so upset. Well, obviously upset for Geek Fusion, but happy. But it was contrasting emotions because now the championships are really close again because Aston's had 2 wins in a row now. But at the same time, I also wanted to see Geek Fusion do really well. I think he got driver of the day as well.
He did really well in that race. Like, we hadn't seen much from him, had we, Toussaint? I mean, in terms of, we'd seen glimpses of good pace from him, but he was usually around the midfield pack most of the time. So for him to be up there in Austria, showing what pace he can have, it was really good to see, especially trying to battle with those front runners. But yeah, it was at the end, it was a mix of emotions from both of us, really.
Yeah, I think definitely that really sums it up very well. But I think he did get driver of the day in the end. Obviously, it was a wet race, so maybe we just need some more rain, which, going to Silverstone, never know. Could happen. So now for the freshman series, this is where things start to get a little bit interesting. Because for those of you who have ever listened to the WTF1 podcast, you'll know that they do ABCDEF1. So what we've done is we've taken that and we're going to put it in this podcast now, but in relation to the Gabba racing drivers. So we'll be doing, well, we can't really call it ABCDEF1 because they're probably gonna, yeah, we'll just call we'll call it an in-depth race review.
We'll call it the GAVRA.
The Gavra.
I don't know. Yeah, just, They're naming letters, so we'll name letters.
We'll call it the Gavra. Sure, why not? The Gavra review. That's what this entire podcast is. But anyway, then. So to begin with, we're going to do a quick overview of the race, then dive into how well we think that each driver did during the race. So it was Jitsikev on pole for the 3rd time this season, Absolute in 2nd, and RC8 rounding out the top 3 and 3rd. Those top 3 again really close together out on track and close together in the championship still. Jitsi and Absolute going wheel to wheel up into turn 3. There's clean racing there though. I think Absolute trying to get one over on his teammate quickly off the start, but just didn't come off as Aljitsi is able to hold it on the inside as a safety car after a crash which literally involved about half of the field into turn 3. Like there was an AlphaTauri going backwards. Everyone was just stopped before the apex. The game called a safety. It was probably the only right thing that the game has done in terms of calling a safety car this season. But yeah, safety car was called. A back with breath, then spun round at turn 9 after contact with Sabo the Mister. That was unfortunate about Packard Rep, but we'll get on to his race more in depth in a minute. Jitsi Curve pitted early for the hard tyres and then got damaged after running to the back of Brizzy at the final corner. But again, we'll talk more about that in a bit. Centuri then had another spin before going backwards on the track, on the racing line, and basically spun the car back round onto the racing line, which was... Again, we'll get on to that in a bit, but pretty mindless driving. Lap 23, another safety car for Williams off at turning. That would be the end of both Williams's in the race. There's more of a safety car calamity with Infameda overtaking the safety car. Tunchiri tries to follow through, but more on that in a sec. Right, so now we dive into the Gavra. Thank you, Tiger, for the name. We're going to go in reverse constructors championship order, talking about each driver. So, and giving them a letter grade from A to F, because that's the way it works now. Or to G, actually, for the Gavra. Yeah? No? I'm not hearing any
Yeah,
objections.
we'll
That's
do
okay.
that. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. No.
That is how it's different. That's how it's different.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so G is the lowest rating, is it?
Yeah, I assume they're going in
Okay.
alphabetical order. Right then, so Williams, Albag Breath, and GSY Bates. So Albag were qualified in 19th with GSY in 8th. Race finish a double DNF. So for this one, guys, what are we thinking? I think they both got quite unlucky. I think Albag Breath was swiped by Sabo in turn 9. So you have to think about how that affects his rating. I think I'm personally gonna go for a C. What about you guys?
I'll hop in at a D since they both
A
got
D.
a dump. So I'll hop in at a D because if they'd finished the race, then maybe it's C. But I think they're maybe a bit too high, especially since they both didn't actually finish the race.
Okay. So Natty, you have the casting vote.
Yeah, I don't think it should be too low. Bates got himself up into 8th in qualify. Unfortunate for Albagi Breath. Double DNF there. I'm gonna agree with Tiger and go with a D.
Ooh, okay. So a Magu Breath with a D. What about
Ha!
the SY base? Going for a pair of Ds, or are we going? Oh no, that's bad. Are you going for a pair of Ds, or are we going for something a bit higher? I think for GSY Bates, my rating might be slightly lower because he did have a spin by himself at turn 3, which kind of dropped him into a compromising position. So I gave Albag a C, so I'm gonna have to give Bates a D. I think if that's only really
I
fair.
think I'll also give Bates a D.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So Williams with a 2 Ds then, not the best way to start off this season. I'm sure they'll improve in the coming then. Just again, like the preseason thing, these are just our opinions. Like they don't affirm. It's actually just us. We're idiots anyway.
As we said earlier, prove us wrong. We'll have to come
Mm.
back to those definitely at the end of the season. It'll be interesting to see
And that is
how
why I'm
we've
writing
done.
them now. I think my pick for the Premier Series I'm not becoming true. SF, go faster. If you can hear me, please
Didn't
go
even
faster.
race last race.
No, he was there last race, wasn't he?
No, I
Oh,
don't think he
well,
was.
start turning up to the races, SF. If you can hear me. Right, so Haas. Actually, an interesting story behind Haas because one Mr. Tiger Assassin made his Gabba Racing Formula
Hello.
One debut. He just said hello, and yes, he is now a Formula One driver in Gabba Racing, which is weird.
Somehow.
But anyway, qualified 18th and 16th, so Tiger out qualifying your teammate at on the first try, actually, really. So good there
That's what I
to
do.
have that advantage over Robert so far at the moment. But anyway, in the race, the disqualification for Robert Codfather and an 8th for Tiger. So, what are we thinking for Robert, guys? We'll start with him first off, as he's the first driver at Haas, obviously.
Can you remember what he got his penalty for? Because I believe it was quite
for
unlucky.
blocking the pit lane after he spun out at turn 1.
He was quite unlucky though. I think if he'd, I don't know really. I feel like I'm gonna go this. No, I'll go with it. I'll drop him down to an E. I think.
An
Robert.
E. I think.
Even though it was unlucky, but he still qualified quite low down. So I'll put him in an E. But it was unlucky though that he did get disqualified for that reason.
I guess it's also kind of like don't spin at the pit entry as well, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. It was kind of his own mistake that happened. Without you, Natty?
Yeah, similar opinions. Unfortunately, he did get disqualified for that incident blocking the pit lane, and wasn't the greatest qualifying. So I think I'll give an E for him.
Of course, that is an E for Robert Codfather. Tiger Assassin then started the race in 16th, finished it in 8th. I'm going to go to you first, Natty.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Well, maybe not the greatest debut qualifying, but definitely made up for it in the race, making 6 positions, 8 positions, sorry. And he did
Can I
get
also just point
damaged
out?
on
Can I
the
also just point
opening.
out
Go ahead.
very quickly? I did change my wing twice in that race. I did also make 3 pit stops. Just to point that out quick.
I'm just saying 3 pits was like the default strategy in the freshman league, though, Tigers. So.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. All right then. Fair point.
I think I'm gonna go with. I'm torn between a B or an A, but I'm gonna go with an A.
That's interesting. I think
Can I-
for a debut race, it's certainly promising. I'm gonna go. The thing is, though, he finished 9th on track though and got 8th after a penalty. So, I mean, to be honest, I don't think there was really much more you could have done. So I'm happy to go with an A as well.
Well, to be fair, I feel I'm gonna be a little bit harsh on myself, right? Technically, I only overtook 2 people in that race, even though I made up all of those positions. So I'm actually going to give myself a B because I don't
All
think I
right, fair enough.
deserve. I don't think I deserve an A because I didn't primarily make up all of those positions off of overtakes, off of like pure pace. It was just off of safety car, a couple of people retiring, getting it off of pit stops and stuff, and then I made a few overtakes at the end, but.
Fair enough.
I'll give myself a B.
Fine to drop you to a B. No favoritism here, as you'll see. That's enough to convince me. So Renault, with the team of Vincher and Daza, qualified in 11th and 17th, finished the race in 10th and 13th. Vincher had quite the eventful race, but was trying to make overtakes that weren't really paying off, and then was caught up under the safety car, which was caused by a Williams retiring, but was made worse by some people in the other team we're going to get to in a minute. But yeah, I was able to capitalize on the lap 1 safety car getting up into 8th. But Dazzle was caught out in the damage. But let's start with Vincher. I'm going to go for a C. Yeah, I think a C is all right. Improved on the qualifying position and did get quite unlucky in the race about damage under the safety car. So I'm good with a C. Probably didn't get everything he probably could have out of the car, but I think a C is fine, or a B. Actually, B.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think a B's good for him.
All right, cool.
I'll agree as well.
B. I think for Dazza, though, we have to go for a lower grade because he did kind of career into the back of another car. So
Which who?
lap 28, he went into the back of Ace de Sabo at turn 3.
Oh, okay. Where did he qualify and finish in the end?
He qualified in 17th and finished in 13th, but I believe that might have been the last of the running cars. Which we'll have to have a look at.
So we're going all the way down at G, we're going all the way down at G, aren't we? Because of the
yes, because you don't want to be
system.
because we don't copy WTF1.
Yeah, we don't. I think I won't give him the lowest rating. But I'm going to go in an F.
An F.
An F.
Oh, I was thinking like a D. What about you, Natty?
Yeah, but
I was thinking a D or an E.
I think we've got to go with the majority.
You got to think though that he firstly scored no points. He also took out another car in the race, and he was the last of the actual running cars on the track.
Well, he was the penultimate running car on the track, but Ace de Sabo still managed to finish in the points. It didn't really wreck his race, if anything. He just kind of went into the back of him, which obviously isn't great.
I'm going to be the Simon Cowell. I'm going to stick with my F.
All right. Well, I think me and Natty have both said D, so got to take the majority vote, unfortunately. But anyway, Racing Point. This one should be quite quick. So, Ellison and Tunturi qualified in 9th and 10th, finished with a double DNF, both for very different reasons. Ellison was probably having one of the best races of his gravel racing career so far, up into third after the safety car restarts. A like absolutely lovely move on the McLaren. I think it was a Brizzy into the final corner, like just dived it down the inside and got the move, and yeah, managed to get it done. But unfortunately, began to slip back through the field, but not without a fight though. Still managed to get around the outside of the McLaren. They had a really good battle in the opening stages of the race, but then just forgot to serve the drive-through after the safety car for speeding under the yellow flag. So I don't know what we're going for with Edison. We'll do him first.
I mean, if he's definitely improved a lot. I mean, since we first saw Ellison in the academy too, saying he's definitely improved. Since we first saw him, I think I'll go in at I'll go in at a C.
The only thing is though, he obviously did still miss the drive-through penalty. So is it fair to give him a higher mark than GSY Bates or Baggy Breath, who also had a DNF?
Maybe we drop him down to maybe like a D.
I think a D is fair.
A D.
Yeah.
Can we all agree on a D?
I think purely because the race ended so badly. But yeah, for Edison, unfortunately, Tanturi G. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to voice my opinions on what actually happened, but I'm sorry, Tanturi, but it's got to be a G.
Yeah,
especially since you also did affect my race as well.
That's not meant to play into it, but because yeah, it's just the multiple spins and then under the safety car for the second time this season caused some discrepancies, let's just say, and yeah, probably will be looked at by the stewards. Anyway, moving on to Mercedes, as a certain commentator likes to say. I'm not going to say who. Qualified in 7th and 12th. Alex Mack and Triple O in the race finished 5th and a DNF, which actually Triple O actually got disqualified on lap 1. So I'm like, I don't even know if we can really give him a grade, to be honest, because he came into the pits and the game just disqualified him. And it's actually very funny in the stream. If you watch when he comes to the pits, the Mercedes mechanics just like walk back into the garage and just leave him there in the pit.
I think I saw that actually on the stream.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, hang on a minute. But yeah, so for it'd be harsh to give him a grade considering he only had less than a lap of actual racing.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think they have to go with ungraded on that one.
All right, that would be a U, but that doesn't make it a bad thing. Doesn't mean it was bad.
No, it doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Data.
There's no grade.
Alex Mack had a fairly quiet race, but managed to bring it home in 5th. So I don't know. I'm tempted to go for a B here.
Where did he qualify and where did he finish?
He qualified in 7th and finished in 5th, so improved the position, but got caught up.
It's a good race, actually.
No, but that's the thing, though. He got caught up in that turn 3 crash on lap 1 and still managed to come back through to 5th.
That's good, actually.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Tempted to go for a B?
A B? I can agree on a B, yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. McLaren, then, moving on swiftly, like a scalded whippet. Brizzy and Hampton qualified in 13th and 20th, finished the race in 8th and 14th. I think from Brizzy, another strong race from
so
the Peruvian.
13th to 8th, did you say, for him?
13th to 8th, yeah.
That's a good race.
And Hampton 20th to 14th, but there's a big but here. Hampton also had no qualifying, but was still the last of the running cars at the finish line. So, yeah, I think limited practice. I'm trying to see where he came. He was 30. Actually, he was 10th after the Hampton was 10th after the last safety car, but yeah, then just fell back through the field.
Actually, Hampton, I'm gonna have to put him in an F. I'm sorry.
Oh, is this because of the contact?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Sorry,
ES picked up an
Hampton,
LL.
but that was very, very uncalled for.
Okay,
And it's
so
not even just because I was involved in the incident. If someone else was also involved in that incident, it would have been very uncalled for. Like, I'm just coming from a non-biased point of view there, so I'm gonna have to give him an F. But you guys
I
can
think
voice your
Yaz
opinions.
picked up an LLP1, so I am inclined to go with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. That is an F for Hampton. Brizzy, on the other
F in
hand,
the chat.
F in the chat. Solid drive to eighth in the end. If and yeah, Brizzy, good drive back to eighth. Did get that place on penalties, but you got to keep it clean, I guess. So C,
C, yeah, go with
Yeah.
C.
C. All right, cool. Yeah, another driver with he was battling for third up in the beginning, but I can't remember what happened to him. But he fell back through the field a bit, but managed to bring it back home to eighth position. Then, so moving on. What comes after McLaren? Ferrari comes after McLaren. So
I
Ferrari,
mean, they do
in
usually in
Famella,
normal F1.
in Famella and Sabo, then the double Italian setup. Now, I think there's another G incoming here because I do know that Infamela did finish, well, A finished in P12, which is below where he qualified. Actually, had very, very opposing races. It's like Infamela went from 6th to 12th. Sabo the Mister went from 15th to 6th. So, I mean, like, yeah, two races of
15th to
contrast.
6th. It's
Yeah,
really
15th
good.
to 6th. And then, but Infamela, they were both having a good race. I mean, Sabo did swipe Bates at the final corner, which kind of taints his race a bit, falling down to causing Bates to more or less come fall out of the running then. But Infamela kind of caused that safety car mayhem by overtaking it. So I think that's got to be a swift G, surely.
Where did he qualify? Where did he finish?
Qualified in sixth, finished in 12th.
Yeah, sorry, Infamela, it's gonna be a G.
Yeah, swift G. Sabo the Mister then. Like I said, that swipe. What did you think, guys?
It wasn't great, to be fair. I might go for a. I mean, it was a decent quali, but I'm gonna have to go with an F.
Where did
I
he
think.
Where did he finish?
That's the thing that he qualified in 15th but finished 6th. So for me that would be an A drive, but the
I
swipe
would
brings it
drop
down to
him.
a C.
I would drop him to it. Yeah, I was just about to say I would drop him to a C
Yeah. All right. So
because of that incident.
got
Don't
to
know if
go with the
Natty's in agreement.
majority then. Go for a C. Natty said an F, which I thought was a bit harsh, but yeah, I guess it's what it is. But you're going to be saying that every single time someone gets an F.
No, just no. No.
All right, moving on to our top three teams, Alpha Tauri, Tonios and Victor. Two drivers again having quite a quiet race. Qualified in fourth. Tonios finished second in the race. Tonios actually had a quiet race, but was able to kind of hang on to the coattails of Absolute, who was leading the race. They managed to bring home that second place after Jitsi had his woes. But yeah, has gained more ground on his championship rivals in the championship standings. I think he's 5 points behind. So I think there's not much to complain about with Tonios' race. I'm tempted to go for an A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give him an A, yeah. I think Tonios has improved a lot.
definitely.
Especially in the academy as well, did used to be very quick. And so yeah, I can give him an A.
And also Victor, although qualified in fifth, finished in sixth after Asa Savo's position was corrected. Had a really, really good race, to be honest. Like he was taken out at turn 3. He was the AlphaTauri facing backwards at turn 3, spun it round and came back to finish in sixth. So like again, and after getting more damage after patting through the field as well. So I'm tempted to go for an A again for the two AlphaTauri. I think pair of A's. What do you guys think? I mean, anything that you think could take away from his drive?
Not really. I think I'm going to go with an A as well.
All right, Tiger.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, so pair of A's then for the AlphaTauri squad. Alfa Romeo. Now this one's actually quite hard to do because it did say after the race that Ace Sabo had won. I can now tell you that he has finished in 7th position. So all of the drivers 7th and above, sorry, have moved up a position in the standings. Anyway, so RC8 and Ace Sab, one of our top 3 drivers in the championship in this team. So RC8 finished the race, qualified in 3rd, sorry, finished the race in 3rd, in fact. And Ace Sabo started in 14th and finished the race in 7th. Now, Ace Sabo had a disconnect after lap 1, and I think did very well to come back through the field and up into 7th. I think a good race, but didn't lose as much ground as Victor did in his recovery drive. So I'm tempted to go for a B.
B, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was
B.
thinking.
All right, let's go for a nice B there. And RCA, again, quite a standard drive. Tried something a bit different with the strategy, which I just didn't work out. I think. He had a very nice helmet. I think, yeah, again, a very consistent performance from RC8. Probably not his fastest race. I
like RC8. I'm going to give him a B, just out of pure likeness. No, but he consistent race. I mean, pretty much finishing where you qualified is. I mean, that's sort of your first aim. To get above that is your next one. So he's hit that. So I'll give him a B.
All right, Natty,
Yeah.
B? All right, we'll
yeah,
go
could
with
be B.
the general consensus. A pair of Bs for the Alfa Romeo team. And now finally, Red Bull, your constructors' points leaders with 2 championship protagonists or antagonists. No, protagonist is the right word. Absolute and Jitsi. Now, we got some juice. You got some juice here.
Oh, here we go.
Because Absolute did qualify second, challenged his teammate up into turn 3. I honestly thought that we were going to get like some Mercedes 2016 vibes, but managed to keep their front wings out of each other's cars. I think Absolute did get the win after his penalty was thrown out because the game is stupid, basically. But yeah, it was Absolute and took the win. I honestly don't think there's much more he could have done to not deserve an A star, to be honest. Like, he stayed out. He did the right strategy call when it came down to it. Had the pace over Tonios to build the lead and aced all of the safety car restarts. I honestly don't think there's anything else but an A star that you can really give him.
It was a great race from him.
Yeah. All right. So
yeah, I can agree on that.
A star. Now, Jitsi, this is where a bit of the juice comes in. I'm going to squeeze that orange a bit.
Oh, here we go.
Jitsi, really good qualifying, like solid, puts it on pole, looks like he's going to take the win, but just comes into the pits for a set of hard tyres under the virtual safety car and the full safety car. And you heard me in the commentary box saying that's bold to try and put himself back out in the pack. And proved to be his downfall, having contact with Bruzzi, and later on losing the rear on the run down between turns 8 and 9. Into the wall, prompted a manual retirement. He lost big ground in the championship as well, so I'm tempted to go for. I'm on the border between a D and an E, but I'm going to leave it.
I wouldn't give him something like low, like a G or an F.
No,
because I think he still had a really good quality, and you can't and he had a good start to the race, but I think
a D is fair. I mean, looking back, we've given Ellison a D for having a similar race. So D?
Yeah, I can go with a D.
Yeah.
D. All right, cool. Right, so freshman, that is done. Natty, just so that everyone doesn't get bored of listening to my beautiful voice, you can do the.
Cool. So you now get to listen to my beautiful voice for the Premier Series. In qualifying, we had Jetsy, myself, and Pope on the top 3. But Pope unfortunately disconnected at the end of the formation lap and was unable to join back. Obviously, at the time of the race, we had those massive PlayStation issues, which was really unfortunate for him, being in the championship fight. But Absolute was off to a good start. He, from starting last, moved his way up into 9th on lap 1. I think that's 6 or 7 overtakes on the opening lap, and good start from him. Three-way fight in the first few laps between Jetsy, Jutsi, and myself, and then meanwhile throughout the race there was kind of a 6-way fight for fifth, kind of throughout the whole race to be fair. But unfortunately, that led to some contact between Cryptek getting squeezed at turn 3 by Kebab, and then there was a collision in the runoff area down at turn 3. I make my way up into second place on lap 10, going down the inside of Jetsy in turn 4, and Jetsy tried pitting for the undercut, and then myself and Jetsy pit on the next lap, but then Jetsy somehow span on the pit exit. I'm not sure if there was contact or if he lost the rear. I didn't quite catch it on stream nor on my POV. But yeah, me and Jetsy were then promoted into the net lead of the race, getting past Black Country at turn 6 and 7. Black Country was on a different strategy, starting on the medium tyres. And then this is where things get a little bit tragic. on lap 17, I tried going for a move around the outside of Jetsy, and then made the move into turn 4. But then, because I'm a moron, span on the curb of turn 6, dropping me down to P8. Then Julio crashed, I think, with a Red Bull after turn 3 a few laps later, which kind of recovered my race, bringing out the full safety car. And then pretty much the whole field came into the pits. That gave Black Country a really good strategy, actually, pitting for the soft tyres, but unfortunately lost it on the final corner a lap after the safety car. I don't know if he had contact with someone behind him. I didn't quite see that either. Then lap 27, we had the Ferrari team orders switching myself and Cryptek. Cryptek was faster than me when the rain came on lap 29, and then I made my way back past Cryptek, and I think this was a manual retirement, but Jetsy retired from the race. He was further down the grid after his spin after he pitted. But after the 36 chaotic laps of the Austrian Grand Prix, Jetsy Kev was able to get his first win of the Premier Series. Absolute came across in second, and myself recovered P3. That was a nice quick race rundown. And with the Gavra results, whatever we're calling it now.
Thank you, Tiger.
The
Thanks
Garva.
That's the Gavra.
We're gonna start off with the
Can't even
Williams.
spell the name right.
The Gavra.
I'm sorry, Gav. Apparently, Tiger thinks that your real name is Garv. So there you go. Right, Natty. Sorry.
Might be.
So we're starting off with the Williams team. Both qualified in 4th and 10th, and in the race, DNF'd and finished in 10th. Julio was the one who crashed halfway through the race, battling for 5th, and Guillotine had a pretty consistent race throughout, and gaining a few battles, but was able to not gain or lose any positions at the end. So we'll start off with Julio. What do you guys think about his?
I've literally just watched that crash now, and it's pretty diabolical. Like, he kind of just swerves back on the track, and then gets and just swerves into the side of a Renault, and then that's just the end of his career, and he's in the wall. I think that's got to be an F, surely. Where did he qualify?
4th.
Good qualifying.
That might promote it to an E, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking E.
Yeah, I'll go with an E. All right, fine.
E.
So Julio with an E.
And then who is it? Guillotine 10th to 10th.
Yeah.
Scored points.
I'd just put it in. I'd put it in a D, because it's sort of, he got a point there. He finished where he qualified. Sort of average-ish performance.
I'm tempted to go for a C. I'll explain my reasoning why. Because this is actually the first time they've both, one of the Williams has actually got to the end of the race in the points this season. So I feel that marks an improvement. So I'm tempted to go for a C. I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, could do a C. I mean, I think it's his first ever point.
Yeah,
in
it is
Gabba.
actually in Gabba
Okay,
Racing.
yeah, we'll bump him up to a C.
Yeah, there we go. E and a C then for Julio and Guillotine. Renault. Natty.
So the Renault team qualified in 11th and 15th, and both made their ways through the field into 7th and 8th. So both getting involved in some really good battles in the midfield. Very clean from, I believe, both Renault drivers. And in terms of rating, it's
solid points, isn't it?
it's good points from both of them.
Pair of Bs, 2 Bs. They're both improving their quality.
Yeah, both making their way through the field. I think it was Kaz Nuygens who finished in
Kaz Nuygens and Car
7th.
H, isn't it? Is it Kaz
Yeah.
Nuygens,
No,
Car H?
Alex and Matt.
Yeah,
Alex gonna
had
Max,
a
sorry.
little team swap, I think.
Alex gonna Max. So
It's tough.
who got 11th to 7th? Was that Kaz Nuygens?
That was
Kaz
Kaz.
Nuygens, yeah.
I put it in. Was there any substantial moments that he had?
It was quite a quiet race from both of them, wasn't it?
I'd put him in the C. Like, he's made an improvement on his qualifying. He's got into the point. But
I know about
he's
you,
had
Natty.
quite a quiet race.
For me, it's a pair of Bs. I don't know about you, Natty.
Yeah, it's Kaz Nuygens' best finish of the season. I think maybe a B's good.
Alright,
go for
fine,
a
we'll
pair
go
of Bs.
pair of Bs.
Tiger's like that. Tiger's like that one teacher at school who gives like an essay that's worth 20 out of 2010 for whatever reason. All right, so
Hey,
Haas.
I'm just going off of results. Yeah, I'm just going off of what I think.
So moving on to the Haas team, Absolute 11, the only Haas driver, started in 16th and went all the way up to second place.
A star.
A star.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
nice and quick one for Absolute. Then the Racing Point of Jutsi Kev started in 5th place and then ended up winning the race in his first Premier Series race.
A-star.
A-star.
That is an A-star.
Yeah.
also
got the
how
fastest
both
lap.
teammates from the freshman have come into the Premier and both got A-stars.
Why did they not both try for the same team? Because there's like 3 seats.
Why
in both
didn't
of
they
those
not
cars.
apply for the Premier in the first? Why did they have to use assist? Why didn't they just do what they? I don't know.
Well, I guess they're used to driving with the ABS off now, so here they are.
Yeah. So anyway, carry on, Maxie. Sorry, we've just taken over your section.
Yeah,
It's all right. The Mercedes team, Carver and Black Country, started in 7th and 9th, respectively, and finished in 12th and 11th.
Oh.
Both of them unable to improve on their quality,
You don't get the
unfortunately.
names of who finishes where. This is annoying me.
I said Carver and Black Country 7th
Yeah,
and
but
9th, respectively.
you haven't put it in the script, though.
Oh, I'll put it in the
Yeah.
script.
So 7th to 9th, that was that Black
No.
Country?
No, they qualified 7th and 9th. They finished in 11th and 12th.
Oh, you see, you've done it in an awkward, just unreasonable way.
I think they've both gone backwards.
Yeah, I'd put them both. Wouldn't maybe both say an E?
What have we given? We gave Julio an E. I thought that's a bit harsh to give those 2 E's as well.
A
I'd
D?
say a D, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give them both a D because they've both gone backwards, but they haven't had any like substantial, like really bad moments. But they've just had a not a great race. So I'd put them in a D.
Next.
So, Alfa Romeo, Deadly Jason, the only Alfa Romeo driver from that race,
Oh, this should be good.
went from 14th to 9th, gained 5 positions in the race, and they avoided incidents in the midfield to get his way up into 9th. Made a few good overtakes.
We've given Jitsi Kevin a star for going from 5th to 1st, and that is the win. It's about the same gap.
Yeah,
in terms of positions.
but that's for the win though.
Yeah, I think an A then.
You have to think of the
star.
circumstances. I mean, you give them an A. Oh, he avoided quite a lot of incidents though.
Mm.
I'll back an A. I was gonna say a B at first, but I'll back an A.
All right, Natty.
Yeah, A. I'm
All
happy
right.
with an A.
Another one.
Moving over to the Red Bull, this should be nice and quick. Metboy unfortunately wasn't able to race, and his teammate
G.
Kebab.
That is a G. Sorry, Matt boy.
Sorry, my boy, we love you, but that's a
What
G.
the race is doing.
But his teammate went from 8th to a disqualification.
What was the disqualification
What was-
for, Natty?
Watching the stream back, Tiger was taking penalties, so I have no idea.
Tiger, you're a terrible commentator. But that looks like an F. Then in
What?
that case.
Yeah, we'll go with an F. I think. Who was the? No, you see, I haven't put the driver name down of who went from 8th. I know I should know it, but I commented
It was just
on so
Kebab.
many people.
He did
Oh
quite
yes,
say
I
Kebab.
said under Metboy didn't rate.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I'd stick an F in the chat.
Could you please not do that? Okay, no one's getting an F from now on. That's just how we're doing it.
We've replaced F with G.
Yeah.
No, carry on.
Onto the McLaren boys. It was Oriel who qualified on first, and his teammate in 12th. His teammate being Jetsy. And Jetsy qualified on pole. Oriel in 12th. It's my bad. And
Wait, first to a DNF. Who was that?
Jetsy
Jets.
retired towards the end of the race after leading, and then he span on the pit lane exit. Oriel, though, done well to get himself up from 12th to 4th.
I think
I'd
for
say-
Oriel.
D for Oriel, yeah. I'd say solid. What do you say?
A, not D.
A for Oriel. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, 12th to 4th, yeah. A for Oriel. I'd say solid G in the chat, like for Jetsy. Did he retire the car? Was it a manual retirement or was it a full on like retirement?
He had that spin at turn 1, and then later on in the race he retired manually.
I'm just trying to look back in the stream now. He's DNF before that 34. Think it was a manual retirement. Yeah, it was at turn 1. So
we give him an F because it's not like he's done.
yeah.
He hasn't done anything substantial to ruin anybody else's races. He's just ruined his own race. I'd give it an F.
A G should be reserved for like something that is like truly heinous.
Truly heinous against the Gavra code of conduct.
All right then, but anyway, I'm going to take Ferrari because Natty races for Ferrari. He's not going to be very impartial.
Whoa-hoo.
But Natty and Cryptech then, actually a bit of an inside scoop here, was the race engineer for them. Me and Dutchy helped out the Ferrari team to their result of 3rd and 5th in the race. They qualified in 2nd and 6th. So Natty, you've got some explaining to do again. You were battling for the lead, and then you spun out at turn 6 on lap 17. For I think the 2nd time this season, that exact same combination.
Yes. It just appears that after
what you need, Natty, is for every race to take place at a track with less than 5 corners, and for every race to be less than 17 laps. Then you'll win the championship.
So, Gav, if you are listening,
every race around the
you know what to do for next season.
We'll just go to the Bahrain outer track.
Yeah, do Bahrain out. All right, so what are we giving Natty? Because you really should have won that race. I think a C is in order. Yes, a C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just yeah.
I think Cryptech, on the other hand, had quite a solid race.
5th. I think he did. To be fair, I put him at a B. Yeah, B, because he hasn't made up a substantial amount to warrant an A. I think a B is good enough.
Yeah. Right then, Alpha Tauri. Natty, I'll hand back it to you because it's Ferrari section.
Pope qualified in 3rd for the Alpha Tauri. His teammate Beza down in 13th, but Pope disconnected from the start and his AI finished in 13th. Meanwhile, his teammate Beza moved his way up into 6th, and was involved in many midfield battles along with a lot of the other drivers, gaining 7 positions in the race.
Can I just say something? I've just watched the
No.
race back now. Well, I'm going to say it anyway. Besser just drove into a wall in the pit entry, which is why he had to come in and why he kind of finished 6th and not on the podium.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
he did. He completely ruined his race because he came flying into the pit wall.
I think for
Even though,
Pope, it's
even though he went from
ungradable. He wasn't even driving
yeah,
anything in the race.
I would ungrade Pope and give him a U. I think for Beza, but I was going to give him an A until you remind me of that, so I might drop him to like a B or a C. Because he
Oh
still
no,
made up a
it's
good
not.
substantial amount of positions.
I think it's fair to give Cryptek a B and give Besser a B because Cryptek's like actually a decent race and Bezza's just binned it in the wall. I'm tempted to go for a D.
But Bez has still gone from 13th to 6th though.
There were only 13 cars left in the race by the end.
I'm still adamant give him a B.
All right, Natty, you have the casting votes.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a B.
Okay, been
Get in
outspoken
there.
by the underlings. Anyway, that's going to be freshman and premiere. Tiger, do you want to do the Super League?
I suppose I have to. So Austria again, as all of these tracks have been. Quick run through. Adam Green on pole for the the 3rd or 4th time. I've put 4th time, but I feel like it's the 3rd time. I
think that was the 3rd time. Yeah.
Okay, 3rd time. With Joe in 2nd, good quality from him. Pierre in 3rd. Once again, AlphaTauri and Mercedes battling up front. With Dutchy all the way down in 8th. And Toussaint, you're all the way down in 9th. I'm not sure what happened to you, but we won't talk about that. So the start of the race was mainly clean. A few people getting some bad starts. Dropping back a few positions. Was clean actually into turn 3, but then it all happened surprisingly down at turn 4. Usually it's turn 3 chaos. But at turn 4, there was a collision between Joe and Dan Schneider, which saw Joe spinning round. Then shortly after, Don Rajib was spun around onto the grass at turn 6 and 7. I didn't manage to catch who he had a collision with or whether he just spun himself out.
Yeah, he just caught the grass and went round.
Oh, okay, thank you. Then there was a battle between Toussaint and Holland. Did you enjoy that battle, Toussaint?
I did enjoy that Vassal Tiger.
Good. For the next few laps, with a long battle, and this was a long battle between Attengren and Piera. Like you, I don't know if did you? I'm guessing you watched the stream, but yeah, Toussaint, you must have saw it happening up front. It was just back and forward, lap after lap between those two. Like Piera was in front of Atim, and they were coming up the DRS straight, and I literally was like, here we go again. Atim's going to go down the inside turn 3. Piero's going to try and go back at turn 4. And it was literally the same thing throughout the entire race, but it was really good to see. It was really clean between both of them. There was a lap 9 VSC. There was no full safety car in this race. Super League, keeping with the trend of not having many safety cars at all, actually.
Apart from Spain, we don't talk about
apart from Spain. As there was a 3-way battle into turn 4 as Thunder collided into Before You Die. Just trying to read what I wrote here. Then Black Country. Oh yeah, so there was a 3-way battle. So Thunder collided into Before You Die, went hit into the wall, and then Black Country hit into Thunder, and they went both spinning out onto the grass. Allowed a lot of people to make a pit stop. Brought out a BSC. From then it was mostly a clean race. Pierre and Adam going backwards and forwards again. And then there was Tim V and Dan Schneider went wheel to wheel, and Tim V bit of a swipe. It kind of put Dan Schneider in the wall. Wasn't great for him. And then at turn 3, Joe, Tim V, Dom Rajib went 3 wide almost. With Don Rashid breaking a bit late, hitting the back of Tim V, who hit into the side of Joe, which caused Joe to have wing damage, as well as, I believe, Don Rajib as well. But that was pretty much the entirety of the Super League race, and now we're gonna get on to some ratings. I don't know why I said that so slowly. AB Techers qualified in 16th, finished in 11th. He had a pretty quiet race. What we giving him?
B, still not points.
Yeah.
I would go C because it wasn't points. If it was like 16th to 10th or 16th to 9th, then maybe, but there was no points gained. So, in fairness, that the positions that he's gained has been pretty much for nothing at that point, which would mean I'd drop it to a C.
I agree. I think it's going to be a C for me.
Haha. Thunder qualified in 13th, finished in 15th, so he went backwards. No, a quiet race from him as well.
I'd say that's a D then in that case. Just went backwards from where he started.
I'll agree on a D.
Yeah.
D. Red Bull Boys. Here we go. This could get a bit interesting. Tim V qualified in 6th, finished in 17th with a dumph, and caused quite a bit of havoc in the Super League.
G.
He seems to be doing it week after week. G. Here you go, guys, going for, yeah.
G.
Yeah.
G. Before You Die, qualified in 18th, finished in 13th. Quiet race from him.
I think if we gave Tekis a C, Before You Die has to get a C as well.
C, yeah.
They had almost exactly the same
Williams,
race.
Because Williams had a reserve driver, so we're just going to do Shankster. Shankster qualified in 14th, finished in 4th.
A star. That's got to be an A star, surely.
Yeah, I think A star from Shankster. I mean, I've got down here that he made a medium to soft strategy work like really well. Like he did actually, to be fair. Like he was flying on those softs at the end. I would give Shankster an A star as well, Nelly.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Nice one. McLaren boys. Joe qualified in 2nd, finished with a DNF, but was really unlucky actually because it was a manual retirement. He was actually unlucky in all of his incidents that he got wing damage on. I mean, I would probably put him either a D or an E, but I don't think it. I don't even though he went from 2nd to a DNF. I think I'd put him in an E because the DNF was not primarily his fault because he got spun and he got multiple bits of damage.
I think I'd give him a D because, all of the crashes that happened weren't his fault. So
I think that's his highest quality also so far in the Super League.
I'm trying to see.
No, joint highest. Sorry, joint highest because he qualified 2nd in China.
I think if we gave Robert Codfather an E for spinning and getting disqualified, we have to give Joe a D because his race wasn't as bad as that.
Yeah, D. Holland qualified in 11th, finished in 8th. Battle with U2 and got a little bit held up by Tim V towards the end, but he had a consistent try throughout.
I think a C. A C is fair.
C? No?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, C.
Yeah.
Haas. There was a replacement in Haas, I believe, so we're only going to do Jojo Power. Qualified in 15th, finished in 10th. Had a nice move around the outside of Tim V.
Tempted to go for a B. Had a quiet race, but just managed to.
I would say B because he got points in the end. He made up those positions, got in the points for the Haas team. Danny?
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, agree.
Ferrari boys now. So Mares qualified in 7th, finished in 5th.
He was in 3rd, but he had a ton of penalties.
I would say B.
I would say C because he had a bunch of corner cutting pens.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like we'll go C then. Don Rajiv qualified in 10th, finished in 9th. He did have that collision with Tim V in turn 3.
He did also lock up and careered into the back of another car.
Yeah. But he did gain positions. One position.
This is actually a really tricky one This is a really tricky one.
He gained a position, but he's done those. I would put him, even though I would have put him in a C for gaining positions. But since he's had those things, I'd drop him to either D or an E. Maybe.
I'd go for D. I don't think he had a worse race than Thumb.
No, I'd go for a D.
Yeah, D.
D. The pink Mercedes. It's Jax. Qualified in 4th, was running in 3rd, but then slipped back after the pit stops because he didn't pit under the virtual safety car, and then he had a battle. Yeah, but he got 3rd in the end, actually. I don't know why I wrote all that down. Blame Toussaint. So he went from 4th to 3rd.
Finished 4th. 4th to 4th. Dutchy was 3rd.
Yeah, 4th to 4th. But he did miss out on that opportunity to take advantage of the virtual safety car.
To be honest, it's probably a better strategy to stay out on the VSC. Like, we'll get to me in a sec, but like I pitted and that kind of ruined my pace, definitely.
So 4th to 4th. I put him in a
D.
C or a D.
C or a D? It's a bit
it was
harsh.
an average race. Yeah, but he's not had it.
He's kept it in the same position, still scored a lot of points.
Okay, B then, fine.
Natty, yeah.
I was going to go with a B.
Yeah.
I think pretty average race.
Mr. Dan Schneider, qualified in 5th. Was, as I said before, was pretty much swipe left on the old car by Tim V. Ended up finishing with a dump.
Again, another tricky one because he was having a good race and he got taken out. What did we give Bates? We gave Bates a D.
I put him in a C because he had a good quali, and he actually had a pretty decent most of the race until that incident happened.
I can go with that. What about you, Natty?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Next, Alpha Tauri Piero.
A star. A star has to be.
Okay, didn't even need to sing. Okay,
nice and quick.
I wanted to say my big boom battle between him and Atomgrin for the first win of the season. Okay. So Piero A star, Dutchy qualified in 8th, finished in 3rd. I think that also maybe.
That's an A. Has to be an A.
And I'd say an A. Yeah, I'd give him an A.
Yeah.
Or is it an A star though? Because what more really could he have done? I mean, he was on the right strategy and got past Jax.
Yeah, but that's a sort of that's not. Yeah, but I wouldn't give him an A star because of his quality.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Because I personally, from Dutchy's pace, he should be qualifying higher than that.
Fair enough then. Mercedes.
I've got A. Mercedes. Atomgrin. 1st to 2nd, battle with Piero pretty clean. I'm trying to, even though it's lost position, I'll put him in an A.
I think it's a B. Because he made a mistake and that's what put Piero on the back of him.
He's still not had a bad race. He's had a really, really good battle with Piero. It was the best battle of the race. And he's only lost 1 position, and he's still pretty much got the championship locked down at the moment.
What are you going to go for, Natty?
I'll go for an A. But
I personally think it's a B. Because he did make a mistake, and that's what gave Piero the chance.
It's a tough one because it was such a good battle, but such good quality, such good race finish, but it was that mistake that I'm going to go with an A, I think.
All right, fair enough. All right.
Toussaint qualified in 9th, finished in 6th. I shouldn't put that at a B or an A.
A B or an A? No.
Maybe a G.
Like a C performance.
Yeah, but you went from 9th to 6th.
For that. And I think I had a very similar race to Holland, to be fair. We both went for the wrong strategy, and that kind of
to be fair, you and Holland were actually pretty close to each other the entire race. I'll back a C actually on that. Because you were pretty much battling. Yeah. You battled at the start and the finish of the race as well.
Yeah.
And then there's a swan emoji as well. We'll just ignore that.
Right,
apart
Natty, you're being destroyed.
But no, that's it, isn't it?
That is
Yeah, I
it.
think we're all
Yeah.
done there. It was a little bit long. We might need to cut that down a little bit, but you know. But yeah, that was all of the driver ratings stuff. And Natty is going to talk about GT Sport. I'm not sure exactly whether he's doing what he's doing, but he'll talk us through it. Nathaniel.
Woohoo! I'm back. Round 3, Mount Panorama was.
Carry on, carry on.
Sorry, I've just been so rudely interrupted. Anyway, round 3, Mount Panorama for the third race in the GT Sport League. Play Dutchy was able to put it on pole position for the third time in a row. I've written here the Mount King. Tiger Assassin was able to put it in second place and Toussaint in third.
Natty.
No,
It's king,
okay, no.
it's
Can we
king of the
read?
mountain.
No. Sorry. If we're reading
Mount
out Mount King, can we please read out the third place position, please?
No, we're not reading that out.
We've got.
You
Okay,
can't
so
even
Toos the
spell it
Moose
right.
got third.
He hasn't even spelt it right. Not even how you spell moose. Because this is an audio podcast. He spelt it Mouss. Like,
carry on. We've gone off topic
Anyway.
here.
So Dutchy had a bad start once again after the 5 red lights, dropping him down into third place, promoting Tiger and Toussaint into first and second respectively. Throughout the majority of the opening few minutes of the race, I think it was lap 6 to up 8, Dutchy was trying to get past Toussaint for many laps, but unfortunately couldn't overtake due to the tightness of the circuit. There was a minor crash though, I think on lap 8. The only crash in the race. Dutchy a little bit too late on the brakes down at turn 20. Lifted off though to let Toussaint go back through, but Epic took full advantage of that and went past both of them. Dutchy let Toussaint back past, but then big drama. The first of the front runners to crash played Dutchy span at turn 14, giving him front damage and I think engine damage as well. But then a few laps later, Epic span on the exit of turn 11, running wide onto the grass and having a similar crash to Dutchy. He got front suspension and aero damage. A few self-caused collisions in the midfield. I think Finn and Scouting were a few others to get hit a few of the barriers, picking up some aero and suspension damage throughout the race. But Wolfie replacing Woody in this race made some good progression. Wolfie, though, I think Wolfie's
he's becoming a permanent driver now.
Yeah, so Wolfie will be in for round 4 at Alsace Village, but he was replacing Woody. Made good progress throughout the race. I think he finished in 6th or 7th in the end. I can't quite remember. But Finn, I think halfway through the race, tried going for a move on Scouting in the final corner. Unfortunately, ran a little bit wide, and due to the snappiness of that Ferrari, got a massive snap of oversteer and span off into the barrier. I don't think he got damage, if so it was only light bumper damage. But towards the end of the race, there was not too many overtakes, but Tiger was able to win from pretty much the start of lap 1 by a whopping 11 seconds. I'm sure he's pretty happy about that. Toussaint came across the line in second and Dutchy in third with the fastest lap in the race. In terms of the championship, I'll quickly run down the top 3. Play Dutchy currently leads, 83 points for him. Tiger Assassin moved your way up into second with 75 points, and Toussaint in third on 66 points. And that's all from the GT Sport bit.
All right. Thank you very much, Natty. All right, then. So I'm going to be taking over a little bit for the GT Sport section then, whilst Natty finishes up some of his notes. So RNG races with your drivers of RNG Elims and Scout Ninja. RNG wasn't able to start the race, unfortunately. So for him, I think it's going to be a U because he didn't get to start the race. For Scouting, what we're going for? Started in 9th, I think, also finished in 9th. So
yeah, had a few minor incidents with the barriers, but he had a good battle with Finn though. Defended well, but I think maybe a D or an E.
Yeah, I'm inclined to go for for a cheeky D. So got a
Is this for
U and
scouting,
a
yeah?
D. Yeah, for scouting.
Uh,
Did he do anything
yeah,
particularly heinous to you?
no, I mean, he got in your way in quali.
Yeah, that's an
Quite
E.
annoying. I did,
No, I'm
I
joking.
did get some revenge though. Um, no, I did his highest points. It's his highest points finish to be fair, but I mean, there wasn't many cars on track anyway. But what did you guys go for?
D.
Yeah, I'll go D.
All right. So Marlin Racing, Furky Viper, and Ivan, both having fairly quiet drivers. Ivan had quite a few crashes though. So how do we think that bodes for his rating?
He made decent moves in the start of the race, but I think towards the middle and the end, he kind of lost a little bit of consistency, picked up a bit of damage here and there. I think similar to the scouting, maybe possibly
D?
a D.
A D for Furky. You think?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'll go
And
D.
for Finn,
Where did
Uh,
Finn finish in the end?
uh, he
I think it was
had
8,
6 points, so ninth.
9th, yeah.
Finished in 9.
Yeah, had quite a few crashes. I think he had a worse race than Furky, so I'm tempted to go for an E.
I'll put him on an E.
Okay.
If he's had quite a lot of incidents, yeah.
Right, so Dusty Racing, that is Epic and Ted. What do we think here?
Where did Ted finish in the end?
Ted was in 7th.
I'm tempted to also give Ted a D.
Okie dokie. Natty?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of D's here at the moment.
It is there are a D. There's 3 of the last 5 grades have been D's. Let's hope that Epic can bring it up a little bit. So what we're going to give Epic. Started
Wait,
in
he
4th,
qualified
finished in 4th.
fourth. Did have a lot of crashes though. I mean, I would put him in like a B maybe for fourth to
I think it
fourth. But
knocks it down to a C.
I think the crashes do put it down to a C.
Okay. That's a C.
Yeah.
Now for BGE Racing, Dutchy and Wolfie. Quick word on Wolfie. Actually, coming in as a replacement of only like 1 day's worth of practice. Did really well to finish the race, but unfortunately won't be getting a rating at the moment because he is not a official driver. So
He did have a really good race though.
did have a very good race to be fair. So that leaves Play Dutchy. I think easily his worst race of the season. That being said, there have only
Yeah, I
been 3.
can agree on that. I mean, what qualified first, finished in third.
Yeah.
That has to be a.
I would.
I would say
It's
I'm
still-
hovering around DRE.
It's still a third though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
But I feel like I'm gonna have.
I haven't. I don't want to do D again, but I feel like it's a D.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit on the fence. What about you, Natty?
Yeah, I'm between D and C, to be honest.
Same.
We can go for a C if you want.
I think you have to ask yourself: did he have a worse race than Epic?
Yes,
You think so?
because Epic finished where he qualified, whereas Dutchy lost his first position and crashed multiple times as well.
Fair enough. I can get behind that then.
Yeah.
Natty. Yeah. All right. That's a D. Now BCMR drivers. Tiger and myself. Tiger went second to first. I went third to second. It all kind of was decided at the start. Qualifying could have been better. I feel like Epic deserves a B. Going back to that.
He deserves a B.
Yeah, because there were like really minor mistakes. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a B.
Okay, B. For me, I won't rate myself.
You have to rate yourself. That's the point.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to go first, Natty.
I'm not going first, no.
Well, obviously, really good start on Dutchy. Won the race by 11 seconds.
Didn't
finding it
crash.
difficult to give lower than an A.
I'm tempted. I'm on the border between an A and an A star.
I don't think it's an A star because of the qualifying, maybe.
Yeah.
Tiger?
Huh? Yeah, I'd give myself an A.
Alright, fair enough. And now for me, last but not least, hopefully.
I'd say I'm gonna say a solid A as well. Defended from Dutchy for the first half of the race.
I'll give Toussaint an A star.
Because I was holding up Dutchy.
His defensive duties were world class.
I didn't really have to do much, to be fair.
I used him as a human shield.
I would say A because of the gap difference.
Right, okay. I'm not being thingy here, right? But if we're both getting an A, right? How can you go from third to second, and I go from second to first, winning by 10 seconds, and only get an A?
Because you didn't qualify on pole.
All right, fine. A it is then.
Right, well, that's going to bring to an end episode 16. And I remember to change it on the YouTube of the Race.
I'll give the track an A star.
We can't give the tracks grades, but speaking about the tracks, actually, next week we'll be doing a podcast mostly revolving around track talk, which will be our opinions on all of the tracks on the Formula One calendar and indeed in the Formula One game. We will try and do this again next week with all of the various drivers in their championships. Hopefully we'll be able to do it a lot shorter. I believe this one has run over by a lot, so obviously you'll have some editing to do, which should bring that down a bit. But anyway, that's going to be the end of this episode of the Grizzly Racing podcast. We're still looking for special guests. If you would like to be a special guest, all of the links you can use to contact us are down below. Again, that's Discord, Instagram, or just on PSN. And that's going to, once again, as I said, bring to an end this episode of the Grid Slot. This has been one of your hosts, 2Snow208, signing off.
Me, Tiger Assassin.
And me, X Nanny G.
And we will see you next week, everybody.